Hello YouTube, it's Accurate again, back with another video from the home studio, and today I want to make a beat using the legendary, classic, old school MPC 2000 XL.
Accurate beats.
Alright, first of all, this video is sponsored by Skillshare, so let's talk a bit more about Skillshare later in this video, but for now let's get into the beat making on the MPC. So what I have here is the Akai Professional MPC 2000 XL MIDI Production Center. My unit doesn't have any of the fancy expansions that are available for it, like the individual outputs or the built-in effects or anything. It does have 32 megabytes of RAM, and it's also using a zip drive instead of the floppy disk drive that it usually comes with. So that's cool, that's nice to have. So I stacked up 16 different drum sounds in Logic and sampled them into the MPC, so now I have that. And I basically had to chop the drum sounds up in order to have them to play like this. That took me a while because the workflow is kind of slow and I'm kind of new to the 2000 XL myself. However, the drum sounds are in here, I sliced them up so everything just looks and sounds good. Now let's get a sample in here, so let's go Shift 4, which is sample, and there we are. Let's lower the threshold, analog, and let's sample for about a minute instead of just 10 seconds. Let's hit record and play. And let's give that a name, sample 001, that's fine. Let's assign it right there, keep it. There's a lot of silence in the beginning, so let's trim that off by just adjusting my start point here. Yeah, at least that's a lot better. So now let's go in and actually chop it up by going into zone. That's the first slice. That's the second one, so I need to adjust this quite a lot. Third. Fourth. Well, yeah, let's go back to the first one and make sure that one is nice. Okay. And that's where I want my second one to start, so let's trim the end of the first and trim the start point. Okay. Okay, that's nice. So my workflow here is that I go to my next zone and I go to the start point. I adjust it heavily to match up with the previous one. And then I gently go from there to make sure that I don't miss anything cool. And now it's chopped up like this. Well, program edit number 2 and go into my parameters to have all the pads in note off mode instead of poly. So now they just play whenever I hold the pad. Cool. But before we go any further there, I want to go back to my first track with the drums and just make a little drum loop here. Let's go for 4 bars instead of 2. Let's turn up the timing as well, and let's put the tempo around 92 something. So I want to use my 2 kick drums and a snare and also an open hi-hat for this first take. And I'm going to record my closed 8-note hi-hats a bit later. So let's first of all do that and see what happens. And I want to use that hi-hat, so let's go 16 levels in velocity mode. So I can get some different volumes on the hi-hats straight away. So let's try that. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going for. So let's go back to my second track and let's try stuff with a sample. I think I want to try a few different pitch modes here, so let's go into the sample parameters right here and change my tuning. Let's go minus 48, sorry, 48. So I definitely think I could use that, but I think I want to try to pitch it up instead. So instead of going 48 minus, let's go 48 plus. Let's give it a try. So I think I preferred that pitched up version over the pitched down one, so let's keep that and try to record a pattern I have in mind here for track 2 for 4 bars. Let's give it a shot. Okay, that's it. So now let's move on to sequence 2, because I want to make a variation of that on 4 bars after these 4 bars. So sequence 2, let's start with the drums again. And for this, let's just do the kick and the snare, nothing else. And hi-hat, 16 level, velocity, sure. Fine, that's my drums for my second sequence, and then on to the sample again. So I want to do another pattern here, and I think I'm going to start by using that slice right there. It could turn out kind of cool. Alright, simple as that. Should work together with my first sequence kind of nicely, so yeah. I gotta say that I really like how this is turning out right now. The drums and the sample sounds nice together, so even though I have some experience from using the MPC One and Live as well as Maschine, this feels kind of new to me, even though it's an old vintage piece of equipment. So speaking of learning something new, this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. Skillshare offers creative classes designed for real life and all the circumstances that comes with it. These lessons can help you stay inspired, express yourself, and introduce you to a community of millions. They offer classes in a lot of creative fields like graphic design, film and video, and of course playing, making, and mixing music. I picked up a few good tips myself from the class called Video on a Budget, Prepare Your Shoot Without Breaking the Bank, taught by Christopher Rhodes. He has a lot of experience in music video production, and his class made me realize that I might benefit from planning out my videos a bit better. Hopefully I'll be able to make my YouTube videos a little bit faster in the future. I also took this class on how to design and make your own merchandise, so hopefully that'll come in the future as well. All the classes on Skillshare are divided into different sections, which make them easy to follow and easy to squeeze into any schedule. A yearly subscription is less than $10 a month, and you'll get access to all the classes on Skillshare at once. The first 1,000 people that clicks the link in the description will get a 2-month free trial of premium membership so you can explore your creativity. So back to work. Now I want to add a bass line on this track, so for that I'm gonna sample a single bass note from my computer setup in order to have it on the MPC so I can pitch it around and play something in here. So a new track and a new drum program like that, and let's open up the sampler. So let's record the analog input in mono, and let's not do a minute here, let's do like, I don't know, 1.5 seconds should be enough. I want to hit record and play my note. Okay. So shift trim to make sure that I get rid of some of the silence before this. Cool. Overlap is set to note off, and yeah, let's put some filter on this as well, just because I can. Okay, let's go 16 levels for that one, and instead of velocity, let's do note variation, and just like that, I'm able to play the bass like that. So let's try to find something that goes together with the sample. Feels like I'm onto something. So I found a few notes that I feel kind of fits nicely with the sample, so let's record that into a bass line on track 3. Okay, cool. Let's do the same thing for sequence 2, which is a little bit different, so let's give it a shot. So we have some drums, a chopped up sample, and a bass line in here. It all kind of fits nicely together, and I'm actually gonna leave it at that and just put some scratch on this one. Making this beat, and especially this beat making video on the MPC 2000 XL, has been a little bit of a challenge and a struggle, but also a lot of fun, and I think I learned a lot of new stuff by doing this. I just don't feel the need to add anything more to this one, so let's just call it. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Until then, ha det gott!
Haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? Word. Haven't you heard?